Dear friends, welcome again to our new episode, The Living World. The living world illustrates the nature sounds and the surrounds. Nature surrounds us in the form of the living world, a world made up of living things. It is an amazing world. The plants, from the tiniest flower to the largest tree, there are an immense variety of plants. Scientists believe there are about 4 lakh species, but it may be many more. What is about the flowers? Many plants produce flowers. These are pollinated by animals, wind, and by the plant itself. Pollination results in the seeds needed to grow new plants. See this orchid. It does the term pollination. What is about the fungi? They may look like plants, but fungi are neither animals nor plants, but they are living things. Friends, life began on earth round about 2500 billion years ago. The animal kingdom consists of vertebrates, animals with a backbone, and invertebrates, those are the creepy crawlies. Animals with backbones, vertebrates or animals with backbones are divided into 5 categories. Those are mammals, breathe air, mostly on land, but some are aquatic. Birds have feathered wings, most can fly, but not all. Reptiles are cold-blooded and rely on their environment for body heat. Amphibians are able to live on land or in water, they are cold-blooded. Fish live in fresh water or seawater, or some can move between the two. The kangaroo, the orangutan, the penguin, red fox, tortoise, all these are the examples of animals. World habitats. Those are animals and plants survive in an immense variety of habitats, from the frozen Arctic to tropical rainforests near the equator. Polar regions, cool forests, rainforests, grasslands are the habitual elements for them. Polar regions, here the areas immediately around the north and south poles are frozen deserts, but move a little further out and plenty of animals live with the ice. Where is the cool forests? The parts of the world have seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. It is an environment in which broad-leaved or deciduous trees flourish. In the rainforest, that is in the area of land near the equator, it is hot and humid. This is where you will find the tropical rainforests full of colorful plants and animals. And at the grasslands, there are about 10,800 species of grass. Few areas of grassland attract grass-eating animals which attract predators such as lions and cheetah. Like this sidewinder, the deserts shows its qualities. 1/7 of all land is desert. At first sight, a desert may seem barren, but desert plants and animals have some surprising ways of surviving. Look at those mountains and caves. The mountains cover 5% of all land. Plants and animals living on a mountain have to cope with less oxygen, severe cold, and strong winds. The representative is the golden age here. The lily and the fresh water relates with each other. The world is full of freshwater lakes, rivers, and streams, all fed by rainwater. These habitats attract all sorts of insects, animals, and plants. See these oceans. Earth is largely made up of oceans. Animals and some plants flourish in this salty water. Most sea life is found in shallow water and around coral reefs. What is about the towns and cities? The pigeons is most like by the habitats of towns and cities. From mosses growing in brick walls to rats rooting through our rubbish, many plants and animals have settled in our towns and cities. The polar regions shows harsh habitats. The land animals here are warm blooded, which means they keep their body at a constant temperature that is higher than that of their surroundings. The Arctic lies around the North Pole, with most of the region taken up by the Arctic Ocean. Large sheets of ice cover much of the Arctic Ocean. Polar bears live in the Arctic. They are good swimmers. The Antarctic, the South Pole is in the middle of a continent, Antarctica. 98% of Antarctica is covered by ice. See the life in the freezer. Many polar animals have thick coats. The snow owl has feathers on its body that grow long enough to cover its legs and its bill. A fine fur coat which have the Arctic fox, luxurious, even covers the soles of its feet. This fox is dark in the summer and white in the winter. In the summer it is very busy, collecting and storing food for the winter. The cushion growth, it is not just animals that need to wrap up warm. Plants too. Purple saxifrage has lots of tiny overlapping leaves that completely cover the short stems. Polar regions are dark for half the year, but many animals survive. It is best to stay under. Lemmings cope with the cold by staying in tunnels below the snow, where they hunt for plant roots to nibble. If they emerge, they may well be caught by a passing snowy owl. Within the same polar regions, the Arctic tundra shows its color. Arctic tundra bursts into life in the summer when the surface of the frozen ground melts into a patchwork of baggy pools and meadows. See the sea eagle. In summer, the tundra's pools and rich coasts are a magnet for birds. Steller's sea eagle is one of the top predators. Arctic plants grow low to the ground, and the insect attack. Hordes of beating insects plague the tundra. Black flies and mosquitoes will cloud around reindeer and suck their blood, while bot flies infest their throats. The Arctic hare spends much of its time foraging for food. In fact, so much time that a mother visits her litter to suckle them for just 2 minutes every 18 hours. These larger deer survive by eating grasses and tree saplings in the summer and scraping back the snow to graze on mosses and lichens in the winter. Some reindeer herds follow long migration routes into the tundra in summer to feed on the newly sprouted plants and to calve. In winter, they move south. Reindeer are also known as caribou. The subsoil is permanently frozen, so only shallow rooted plants can grow. Reindeer's hairs are hollow, which helps to trap heat and keep the reindeer warm. Around Antarctica. Antarctica is the world's coldest and driest continent. There is a little plant life, so nearly all the animals depends on the sea for food. Antarctica's ice flows very slowly from the center outwards. It takes about 50,000 years for a snowflake at the South Pole to reach the ocean. Only Adelie, Gentoo, chinstrapped, and emperor penguins nest on the Antarctic continent, but many more species nest on nearby islands. Emperor penguins raise their families up to 80 km inland in Antarctica. This means they face a very long walk to reach the sea for fishing trips. The male emperor penguin cares for the eggs and then the chick. The chick stays on its father's feet for several months. If it falls, it can freeze to death in just 2 minutes. There are 6 types of seals are found on and around Antarctica. They have few natural enemies, so the colonies thrive. That's some seal. The world's largest seal is the male southern elephant seal, which grow to 6 meters, means 18 feet long. It can reach the weight of 2 average-sized cars. Crab-eater seals actually eat krill, not crabs, using their teeth to sieve these small shrimp-like creatures out of the water. Springtails are insects-like creatures that have spring-loaded tails to catapult them through the air. They are one of the very few Antarctic land-based animals and the permanent resident. The wandering albatross has the largest wingspan of any bird. Some pairs nest on islands around Antarctica, usually producing a chick every 2 years. Penguins look ungainly when on land. Friends, deciduous trees lose their leaves in winter. These trees need weather patterns that are neither too hot nor too cold and with seasons. The layers on layers. Deciduous forests have 2 or 3 layers, a canopy, treetops, sometimes a layer of shrubs, and then the low-lying plants such as mosses, ferns, and spring flowers are there. If conditions are right, mosses will grow on the north side of a forest tree. Springing to life means a forest appears to sleep in winter, but in spring it bursts into life. Birds open and ferns spread out to soak up the light. A land of plenty, full of types. The forest floor is littered with dead leaves and wood, and there are often plenty of nuts and berries. It's a perfect hunting ground for squirrels. In the deciduous forests, Autumn colors its own. In the growing season, deciduous leaves appear green because of a chemical called chlorophyll. In autumn, the leaves turn yellow, brown, or red as the chlorophyll is destroyed. Food chains connect a species with what it eats. Leaves act like solar panels to gather sunlight to make food. Caterpillars or many other insects chew on the leaves, that's their food. Birds hunt caterpillars, especially in spring when they have chicks to feed. Foxes prey on birds, small mammals, and other creatures. See this maple leaf. The woodpeckers have thick skulls to protect against the shock as they hammer into wood. Woodpeckers use their beaks to dig out grubs and to make nest holes. They have amazingly long tongues to probe and seek out insects. They are the makers of their entrance. Woodpeckers take 2 or 3 weeks to dig out a nest hole into which the female lays several eggs. The hole is usually in a dead tree. See these cool forests? A deciduous forest floor is alive with a mighty army of insects and small creatures. There are rich pickings to be had for these animals. The male stag beetles have huge mandibles that form antennas. Mice nibble on seeds and berries. Mouses thrive on damp, shady rocks and on tree trunks. See these earthworms. Trees have a variety of ways of spreading their seeds widely. Rowan trees produce seeds in berries that are eaten and so spread by birds. Poplar seeds grow on catkins. Hares catch the breeze and they fly away. Scamo seeds have wings that direct their fall away from the tree. Acorns are collected and buried by squirrels. Some will grow. Earthworms help to break soil down, taking it in at their mouth and digesting it in a short, intense time. Worms' droppings help to enrich the soil. European hedgehogs are most active at night, especially when the ground is wet and worms come to the surface. Hedgehogs snuffle along using their keen sense of smell to find such goodies as beetles, caterpillars, earthworms, snails, slugs, and spiders. The forest flower. Most plants need lot of sunlight to grow well, but some flourish into shade. These include ferns. Those are shade lovers. I will have your food. Some plants manage without light by stealing food instead of using sunlight to make food. Broom rape plants grow suckers that work into the roots of other plants. Salamanders breathe through their moist skin, so they have to stay damp all the time. The woodies eat rotting plants, fungi, and their own pool. Life as a larva. A stag beetle spends the first few years of its life as a larva. As an adult, it only survives for a few months. Life in a log, rotting wood provides food for thousands of tiny animals. Beetle grubs tunnel through it, eating us as they go. The grubs are an important food for songbirds. The desert plants. Life is tough for desert plants. It rarely rains and whatever water a plant can find has to be stored and protected from thirsty animals. Cacti are unusual plants, many with spines instead of leaves. The main part of a cactus is its swallow water storing stem. The century plant is so named because it supposedly lives for 100 years, then flowers once and dies. In fact, it lives for about 25 years. The Sonoran Desert, which is North America's specialty. It is enormous. It also receives enough rainfall to support a huge variety of life. Velvet ants are actually wasps. Only the males have wings, females lack wings, but they have a nasty sting. There are few trees in the Sonoran Desert, so the Gilia woodpecker makes its nest in cactus stem. It will use the nest for just 1 year before moving on. Run, run, run. The most famous bird in the Sonoran Desert is the road runner, which scampers along at speeds. Rainfall and oasis. Desert animals and plants make the most of any rainfall, but they also thrive in oases, occasional islands of lush plant growth. Why an oasis? Oasis from where an underground river comes near enough to the surface for plants to grow. Spadefoot toads can spend a year buried in the parched desert's ground. Hibernating, their tadpoles have to grow quickly. Desert locusts normally live on their own, but after heavy rains they join to form vast swarms. A swarm may contain more than 50 billion locusts. In the Sahara, oases usually contain date palm trees. Many have been planted by people living there, for whom the date palm is the main source of food. Thanks for watching.